This is Football Daft with Stephen Purden,
midfield dynamo and average actor,
Chris Toll,
target man, suspicious character,
and
with the top end of Stevenson, Grado!
Welcome to Football Daft. It is the daftest Scottish football podcast around. Hello, I'm John. Let's introduce the team, shall we? It's a full squad this week. First, a man who's still trying to recover after Chris Boyd laid one on him last week after he was wearing that mask, remember? It's Chris Toll.
That was a poor one, John.
I know, sorry, I've been really struggling this week. I thought I'd make it topical with the Chris Boyd thing, the mask thing, but no, that's fine, fucked it. Right, now a man, this is probably poor as well, now a man who's back on the set of River City this week. Now I went onto the BBC website and now he's described as loyal and lovable. He wants nothing more than to live happily in Shielding, surrounded by friends and family. His moral code is strong and he's led by his conscience. He generally wants the best for everyone, except perhaps Lenny Murdoch. It's Stephen Purden.
No, it's not. That's Bob O'Hara.
Oh, sorry, that's Bob O'Hara. Yeah, that's Bob O'Hara.
You're having a fucking mare this week, John.
That's
what are you talking about?
Listen, we've got to be careful when we describe him as the same people.
That is John is struggling this week because he's went onto the River City website and he's found like Bob's. We all need to do now, like when we do panel grade, you need to do like a bio. Aye.
Stevie, don't look. You can't say this about him because he said a hard week watching the Brits.
I have had a hard week watching the Brits.
Oh man, that was the worst group chat ever. Like, used absolute fucking midlife sitting watching the Brits, man. The Man U game, no, that's on. You're watching the Brits.
Listen,
it's what joke you're after.
The Falkirk game was on.
Exactly.
Alright, hold on a minute. I didn't know Falkirk were playing. If Rangers were playing.
If
the Rangers were playing. What is he saying?
I'm just saying, that's Grado.
You do that every time you're on this, when John's doing the intro, you talk before you get introduced, man.
I know. I thought like that wee bio actually describes you quite nice, Stephen. Loyal,
yeah, mate, it does. It describes Bob quite nice.
But that's kind of you.
John, I thought, John, that you had sat and watched like River City and that was like Bob's monologue and you were sat with a notepad going, writing what he'd said. I thought he was going, Bob was like, did you watch me on Tuesday? That's what I said. That just visions you fucking with a notepad.
Imagine Bob be a big top of a monologue like that. Ezekiel 25:17. Eat
a cheeseburger, man.
It's a tasty burger.
Right, so the intros are done, everyone.
I feel sorry for you, they were nice.
It's alright, listen, I was really struggling with intros this week because the group chat has been fairly quiet and that's usually where I get my banter from, but most of the stuff put on it this week is unbroadcastable, even on this podcast.
Aye.
Right, what's been happening in Scottish football? Let's talk about last night's games, boys. Let's start off with Rangers.
Honestly, right, I was in work this morning, right, and then I bumped into Grado, you know Davy Love, didn't you?
Driver.
Right. Bumped into Davy.
He shite at tennis.
Or he's good. Know what I mean? Anyway, I was talking to him. He's a bit like yourself, Toll, right? He's a big Celtic man, right? And do you know what? The two of us, he's worked in River City for as long as I've been there. So the two is 20 years, right? And the two of us have got a wee buzz now. Like, do you know how it's got that kind of throwback to like the helicopter Sunday season, whatever? Like, it's fucking to and fro. I'm sitting there like, I couldn't get to see the game last night. I was working, fucking Nicholas Daz no well. Get home, sitting watching like my phone, going, that's staying 2 each. Oh, fuck, they went 3-2 up. We're winning 2-0. Is it just me or have you two got a buzz about it, boys?
Aye, mate, it's fucking, that's what I was saying last week. Like, it's going to be like this until somebody makes an arse of it. You know what I mean? It's going to be nip and tuck all the way, and it's exciting. You know,
that is exciting.
When you look at other leagues, I know Scottish football's obviously not the highest quality of league, right? But I think it's definitely up there for entertainment. I really genuinely do. I mean, look at the bottom of the league as well. There's only 2 points between.
What a result for Dundee last night.
I know. I was going to get onto that. So Rangers game last night, easy street.
Well, we never looked in bother. Bob never watched it. I watched it. They didn't look in bother. We looked comfortable. We didn't exactly hit the kind of the performance that we had on Sunday, but it was definitely comfortable. We didn't look as if we were in any danger at any point. Did enjoy the game, and I suppose it did get a bit exciting for about 52 seconds. When I mean, it was like
we shall not.
I sit down, I've scored, sit down.
Oh, stop singing that.
Was that someone with a wireless beside their head? Aye.
Oh, mate, that was Grado and Stephanie in the living room.
I seen a belter the day. The guys feel like, we shall not be. It's to each be moved. We shall. Oh, they've scored already. See, the thing is, but right, I got in for work this afternoon, watched the highlights. I've got to fucking take my hat off to fucking John Lundstrom, man. Honestly, see, for getting hooked at half time against Dundee United after Gio. Honest to God, man, he's a different player. I don't know, you think the same, mate. I think he bossed that midfield, and especially against Hearts at the weekend there. There's something special there if we can keep Ryan Jack fit with John Lundstrom, Ryan Jack, and either Arfield and fucking Ramsey. The three of them together could be something. I think that's get very, very positive signs about it, man. Lundstrom deserves fucking enormous credit. And our captain last night was fantastic, and so was Buffalo.
To, how did you watch the Celtic game? All right, I get it. Okay. That's all he needs to say.
Yeah.
Right?
You better keep that in an edit point.
Do you know what? I watched it on pay-per-view.
Right,
So
you
I
watched
watched it on Red's TV.
Aye, right. You pay for it or not?
Aye.
Aye, cool. What's going to see this carry on, man, trying to get the game up when it's on the internet. It's a pain in the arse. See, last night, me loading it in one telly, then it's buffering, and then I had to update, and then I had to shut it down, and then jump to my laptop, and then I had to fucking...
We were talking about that last night, man, on work. Like, how's it? See, I hang with the season book, man. See, at the start of the season, fucking companies should get together and have, like, fucking SPFL TV, man, like, all together. And you're
I've seen this before.
You just like tick a box on your season ticket if you want to take like an extra £10 a month or something. I don't know, something. Do you know what I mean?
I've seen that before.
It's not just that, but see the amount of money that would bring into Scottish football, man. Honestly,
exactly. I know.
It makes no sense. Like I would gladly pay a tenner a month to watch all the games, or £20 a month to watch all the Celtic games in the house. I absolutely would.
So I pay £6 a month for fucking Discovery Plus. You know what I mean? For that, the Gary Glitter documentary, the Savile documentary, and there's nothing after that. There's nothing else.
I pay £6 a month for £6 or £7 a month for Rangers TV, right? And I couldn't make a game last night. You came home, and you need to still buy the game. Like you go like,
I'm the same.
Let's get the fucking thing together where. I don't know, man. Like there is like Scottish football can be fucking box office as well. Do you know what I mean? See, especially if you've got a very strong fucking Celtic and a very strong Rangers, people want to watch it. Do you know what I mean? Of
course, but I mean, obviously, last night Championship in England takes preference, so not.
Are you fucking Preston game or something on Sky?
Yeah, no, not one camera. Is, you're struggling to find the goals and look at the highlights today. You know what I mean?
You know what? See, with the greatest of respect to English football, Celtic versus Hearts and Rangers versus Hibs are two far bigger fixtures. Celtic versus Aberdeen, Rangers versus Hibs are two far bigger fixtures than fucking, what was it, Derby and...
Was there no some sort of rule last night? Because I think they had planned to show the Aberdeen Celtic game, but there's only so many games they can have outside Rangers and Celtic at Pittodrie.
I think so, mate. I think you're right. There's something there.
There was some sort of rule with that.
I know there used to be, but it used to be 4 games a season, right? And then it get increased, I'm sure. So,
Tol, you said something about just fucking getting off on a tangent there. Got my thought process going. You spoke about last night. It was maybe fucking Derby and something. What a fucking story down there with Wayne Rooney and Derby, by the way. What a job that guy's doing.
Unbelievable.
What a fucking job.
See if he keeps them up and doesn't get manager of the year down there.
It's miraculous, mate.
I know. Unbelievable. So, Grado, you watched the game. Quite happy. How did Aaron Ramsey play when he came on?
You can see he needs more minutes. I'm thinking, will he get playing on Saturday? There's a plastic.
He
pitch.
tweeted last night, hashtag Scottish Cup, and then let the wee fucking time hang.
He's getting his debut at Arran.
Debut, his first start in Arran, man.
Amazing, amazing. Did one of the Hibs players meg him last night?
I don't remember. Maybe it did.
No.
I don't know.
You would do it. You would give it a go, though, wouldn't you? Just so you could say you nutmegged Aaron Ramsey. You would just go, if I've not done anything in this game, I've fucking nutmegged Aaron Ramsey.
It's like your man that put Joey Barton into fucking Rosette that week for St Johnstone. Never heard of him since. No, everybody will remember.
Absolutely. Chris, Celtic game 3-2. I mean, it was 2-2 at one point, and then you went straight up the park and basically scored again. What do you make of Celtic's performance last night?
It was back to a couple of weeks ago when I said like the concentration levels in the second half just fucking went right out the window. So they did. They were excellent in the first half. Really, fucking the attacking football that they were standing again, but second half it was as if their heads just went out the game, and it was a 10-minute spell. Aberdeen scored 2 goals, and by the way, it wasn't against the run of play either. You know what I mean? It was 2 well-deserved goals, and they had a goal chopped off for offside. But the guy was about fucking a good 5 yards offside. But that was before they get their equaliser, and it should have been alarm bells for that point. But they just never set themselves in. But then. And again, we went up the park and scored straight after it, and then managed to hold on. But for me, and I spoke to Ryan about this as well, and he agrees with me, it's the goal shouldn't have counted. The Celtics winner shouldn't have counted. Because a bad is coming for an off, regardless of whether it's offside or it's marginal with the offside.
Yeah.
But I think he was offside. But then Bates is trying to get in to make the block, and a bad.
He blocked Bates, didn't he?
Aye,
fuck yes, FA.
Fuck yes, FA.
You're right, by the way. Fuck them. But anyway,
I'm on that as well.
No, it was the very definition of interfering with play for an offside position. It really was. But you know, these things even themselves out over the season, as I'm sure we've all heard.
Other games going on last night. I mean, we talked about there. I mean, I met Mr. Ewan Cameron this morning. Not very happy about Hearts' performance.
Is he paid cash for kids yet?
I will chase him up on that. But Dundee, what a result it was for them at Hearts last night. Didn't see that one coming. Complete coupon buster. Puts them back up to second bottom. I mean, that's a dog fight down there between Dundee and Johnstone at the moment. St Johnstone, on the other hand, getting beat away to St Mirren. Terrible conditions in Paisley, but you know, from being 1-0 up, they lost it 2-1. We're going to be talking to actually St Johnstone supporter Sam Miller, who does the Dogger Saints podcast. So we're going to find out exactly where.
It does what?
Dogger Saints podcast.
Dogger Saints.
Dogger Saints podcast.
But is that their nickname?
Yeah, wait a minute. That sounds like a dating app.
Well, we'll find out. You can ask Sam about the name when he comes on. The other game again down there, Ross County 1, Livingston 1. Ross County they just seem to just keep getting draws and just churning out and just creeping there and there. That's them 3 draws in the last 5, only 1 loss in the last 5 though. So I think they might be all right. You know, I heard there's amazing statistics. They're the highest scorers in the Premier League out with the Old Firm. They are.
Aye, I seen that. They're always going to score goals. They're always going to score. They look really handy. We spoke about it last week, didn't we, Tom?
Yeah.
Ross County with the boys they've got up front.
They
are, man, and that. What's his name? The boy who's a
he's playing in the month as well, as you know.
Aye. He's a good player, man. And I think that another draw against Livy, and again, Martindale's done another great job with Livy this season.
You've got to take your hats off to Davy Martindale.
And I think I said that. We did predictions, I think, at the start. I said St Johnstone, man. I think they're going to go down.
I think so as well.
Yeah, it's tight. I mean, you look at the battle for that top 6 spot. When you go look at Dundee United, I mean, Hearts have are there, right? Dundee United 33, and then you look down to Ross County 27 and 10th. Do you know what I mean? 6 points between 4th and 10th. That is it. Do you know what I mean?
That's mental, actually.
It's crazy, absolutely crazy. So in that kind of middle pack, anyone can take any points. And obviously there was Dundee United beating Motherwell at Tannadice last night. Tony Watt getting stick and obviously scoring the winner.
What kind of stick? Oh, we hear you. What was it? This the Motherwell video. We know what you're called.
We know who you are.
You know Snubble.
I've not seen that.
It's hilarious, man. There's a tweet and it's like a Celtic fans tweeted, hopefully the police will do something about this. It's really disgusting. It just really shows the Motherwell fans for what they are. And it's a video of a Motherwell fan looking at the Celtic crowd. And what's the Celtic song they're singing? We're Glasgow Celtic. And you're watching this guy's gone, shut up! We know who you are! Shut up!
Folk are saying the offensive behaviour at Football Act should be brought back and all that. And, it was funny, man.
We know who you are!
We know who you are!
That's Tony Watt scoring for Dundee United. He scored in the previous 2 games against Dundee United and Motherwell, obviously for Motherwell as well. Giving it the old
Crofty's unfollowed him, man.
Giving it the old fingers in the ear after he scored. I hate it. What's the worst one? Like talking about when that ex-players come back to haunt you. Kenny Miller scored. That's the obvious one. That is the obvious one.
Kenny Miller.
Right, on that note, let's move on. Other things happening. We touched on it with my poor intro at the start of the programme. Let's talk about here. Celtic captain Cal McGregor, he's moved on from Chris Boyd's remarks. He wrote in his newspaper column last week, no one tested out McGregor's face mark during the Old Firm. He said when you first read it, it doesn't make great reading, but it has been rectified since then, and we've had a chat as well. What did you boys make of all this?
It's a fucking nothing.
It's a silly thing for him to say. It's a silly thing for him to say, especially in a column in the newspaper. Do you know what I mean? But I think it was meant more as tongue in cheek than it was in seriousness.
It was made. I thought it was made a reflection on how bad Rangers were and how pathetic we were and how we stood off every Celtic player and were feared for them. I think it was made a kind of. I mean, he didn't even lay a glove on a boy that had a mask. I get it like that. I don't actually believe he meant. Why did nobody take him? Why did nobody have a go at injuring him? I don't think he meant it like that, but I suppose if you're reading it and everybody gets offended anyway these days, I can understand what it's caused a fuss.
I mean, he definitely didn't mean to injure him when he said, I don't know why anybody didn't test that mask. It was maybe he meant like they wanted the Rangers players to have a shot at it and see what they looked like.
Very true. I mean, it is. I mean, I think it's all been taken a bit too far by the end of it. But right, that's what comments say there. We'll talk about this now. Lee Griffiths is getting back to enjoying football.
Your marquee signing, John.
Joined Falkirk for the rest of the season after being let go of Celtic. He said, I'm really happy to be here helping to push up the league. Martin Rennie and Kenny Miller made it clear that they thought I could help him with the club's promotion push. Do you think that's a good move for Griffiths?
Well, John, let us ask you, what do you think of this move, John?
Have you heard for the dog and Bairns?
The dog and Bairns. I have heard just from my sources there how much he's on a week, and I'm like, fucking hell.
10 grand a week.
I'm not going to say I'm not revealing the sources.
I was told it was £1,500 a week he was on.
But
Morty Vicar.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying.
Is he on a Howden's Kitchen a week?
But on a lot of money, and I believe he's on. There's some bonuses in there as well. But
hey, John, stop beating. What do you think?
Listen, if he gets his promotion, a lot of my friends that aren't Falkirk supporters are getting obviously this is just like Good Willie, and I'm saying no, it's nothing like fucking Good Willie. It's actually nothing like Good Willie.
It's not. John, would you say this is the biggest signing since Chris Waddle?
Is it the biggest signing since Chris Waddle? No, Russell Lappy was, mate. Russell Lappy, but
Russell Lappy.
But I don't know. I mean, if he gets his promotion, listen, it'll be worth it. But He does still.
I think you need to start telling us what you really think about this, John, because you're really you're
know,
coming and on here.
I'm honestly, I am completely split on this.
Your arse has got fucking splinters. Get off the fence.
Nah,
Come on.
Honestly, it does feel like that because one way I'm like, aye, good. Next way I'm like, So I'm completely split down the middle. But I did hear how much he's getting paid, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, that's fucking ridiculous. So, if he gets this promotion, great. If
John,
not,
do you remember when he was the ship went down with him, and I asked you, John, would you take him at Falkirk? At the time, you said no. Right. So what's changed, John?
What's changed, Chris, is that we are, as a footballing side, lying 5th in League One.
So tell me this then.
My morals.
Do your morals just go out the window when it comes to a certain point?
Well, this is the question, isn't it? And this is the question that we'll maybe, you look at what's been happening recently in football. You look at Mason Greenwood. You look at Kurt Zouma. You look at all that stuff that's going on, and it's the morality of football fans. It's the stuff at Wraith Rovers, and I mean. Lee Griffiths, as far as I'm aware, he's only been convicted of 2 crimes, which was the Rudy Scatchell thing back in the day, and also for kicking that flare into the crowd at Dundee against Dundee United. And but he's got his troubles. But I don't know. I'm so fucking torn over this. I don't know. Can we just move on from this? I'm struggling.
Right, move on, John.
Right, yeah, let's move on. Now for the daft, right? Let's get into the daft. Would you like to hear about the dog that looks like Will Ferrell? Would you like to hear about Donald Trump's new gig? Or do you want me to make you go, oh my God, that's the worst thing I've ever heard?
Aye, obviously that.
Aye.
Right.
Is it Lee Griffiths signing for Falkirk?
Oh, Lee Griffiths signing for Falkirk. Right, get this, right. Oh, this is horrible. I don't even know what to do. Couple were completely disgusted after finding thousands of nail clippings in a second-hand sofa.
Oh, God, man.
Oh, fuck.
Jess Taylor likened the scene to something out of a horror film, which included other gross items such as sweet wrappers, elastic bands, clumps of hairs, and feather.
That's my couch.
Bought a second-hand sofa and found all these nail clippings. She said, she's from Larne in Northern Ireland, she said it sounded like hoovering up rice. It was horrific. We've been sat on it for a week, blissfully unaware. Recalling the incident, she said her boyfriend, oh God, that's the worst bit. Recalling the incident, she said her boyfriend stuck his hand down the side of the sofa to find the TV remote with fear of being confronted with chunks of the stuff.
Oh God, that's gave me a fist.
It's horrendous.
Sweetie papers I can take. That's what I say. Sweetie papers I can take, but fucking...
Never mind. Imagine.
Oh,
the smell. Imagine the smell.
It reminds me. See, when I was a wee guy, right? I was a mega.
But I was about to ask the question. What is the most disgusting thing you've ever discovered?
No, not that I've discovered, but I remember. See, when I was in like primary 6, 7, I just started my mega eating. I was a secret eater, and at my gran's every weekend, like if my gran had bought a packet of biscuits, I'd polish the full packets of biscuits, but I'd be too embarrassed to tell my gran. So she had a big chest of drawers, right, massive, and every day I just go, well, fuck you, and put it behind and lunch it behind her chest of drawers. And this went on for about 4 years. And she got her bedroom renovated, man. Fucking, and I came out to see her, and she had a big, massive white Fitbit sock, but it was it was full like a big, massive basket, bigger than a basketball, a big, massive ball full of sweetie wrappers, biscuit wrappers, everything that she had pulled behind for the years that I'd thrown out the chest of drawers.
You found anything down the back of your couch, Stephen or Chris?
No, Grado will tell you, I'm fucking heavy OCD, man. I can't even let the veins eat a fucking biscuit on the couch, nor that.
Do you know? Nah. Do you want to come round to clean my house, Stephen?
Nah.
No, that's fine.
Nah.
I've told you the man about wiping my arse and Aaron. I've told you that, and that was disgusting. That happened to me.
What happened?
I think I've told you that, John. Did I tell that?
I think this was an early episode, Grado, but I think Chris needs to hear it.
So I was doing a shite in Arran in a public toilet.
I I love the start of this. So I was doing a shite in Arran.
Right, and I was sat down, right, and there was two kind of holders, say, to the right side and to the left of me as I'm sitting doing a shite. So I starts picking for the left, right, and I'm wiping my arse. You know, you check it and you check and wipe your arse, right, and I kept wiping my arse. And see, after about 2 minutes, I'm going, how is there still hunters of shite in my bum? I've been wiping for ages. What's going on here? And I'm doing it again, and then I click on, I look to the right.
Oh my God, mate! No, don't tell me.
Aye, I had been. It was you weren't meant to put toilet roll in the toilet. I'd been picking toilet roll for the refuse, but wiping other folks' shite up my arse. It was all in my hands, all up my arse cheeks.
That is
Everybody
the worst
in Arran.
thing
I think I need to go, man.
That's brutal, isn't it? It's still, do you know, my arse was itchy. I don't even know if it was itchy, but my bum twitched for about a week.
Oh my God,
mate,
man.
I would have went straight to the doctors the next day.
It was horrible, man. It was honestly
That's the
brutal.
worst thing I've ever heard.
That beats the sofa story. That beats the sofa story.
I've got one for these.
Right.
I've got one for these, right? So, we in my work at the time, right? There was somebody that I think every workplace in every school has got this, right? But there was a phantom shiter in my work, right? So a wee shite would appear every so often, someplace, right? And we all had our suspicions who it was. Somebody actually took all of the staff, checked against people that were working at the time when these were found and all of that. And
hold on. They lined up the staff.
They can do that.
No. They just like checked everybody's shifts and all that.
Right.
Lined up the shifts against when it was happening, worked it out that it could only be one or two people, right?
This fucking Agatha Christie fucking level here.
Get this right. So I went to the toilet, and somebody had went to the toilet earlier on and turned around and closed the door and locked it and took their horn away, and they'd shite in their horn because the person had wiped shite on the toilet lock.
Oh God!
So right. So that's not the worst part, John. Right. So I've went to the toilet. Right, and now, as you know, when you go to a public toilet, you wipe the seat if you're going to go for a shite. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. So I've went to put my hand in the toilet roll holder, and as I've looked, the toilet roll holder had like a wee clear plastic bit, so you could see how much toilet roll was left, and there was a wee tiny brown skiddy on the inside of it. And I've been like, wait a minute here. So I've took the corner of the toilet roll and pulled it out. Somebody had wiped their arse, right? And rolled the toilet roll back into the toilet roll.
Oh my God!
Right. Mate, I was a fucking millimetre off of getting some guy's shite all on my own arse and my own hands. Honestly, man.
How did we get here?
I don't know, but I think we could get a new feature out of it. Make the boys boke. So if you've got...
That's a good idea.
If you've got...
Like Grado was saying, man, like say about not putting toilet roll down the toilet. That was a script when me and my mates went to Malia for the first boys' holiday years ago, and there was some mornings, man, you're hungover to fuck, and you're waking up, and you're going to Whitey, and my mate Del Boy had fucking no flung the toilet in the bin properly, and there's just a big shitey bit of fucking toilet roll, and I'm Whitey going and turn around and see it, and I'm like,
Oh my God.
So anyway, that brings an end to the sky.
Hopefully you're still listening to the podcast at this juncture, and if you've got a disgusting story and you want to make the boys boke, this could be a great new feature. DM us on Twitter or Facebook at Football Daft Pod or Football Daft on Facebook. Let's get on with the show then. Grado has 3 belting riddles apparently this week.
Yes, really good decisions this week.
Really good decisions. On the big question, we talked about it slightly last week. We're talking about the best haircuts in Scottish football. And on teammates, it's the fat cat himself, so you better watch out for Kurt Zuma. It's Rab Douglas. It is Football Daft Focus as we get into the big talking points of Scottish football. And this week in focus are St Johnstone, bottom of the league at the moment after winning the cup double last season. They've really struggled this season. So we thought we'd get to the root of the problem and speak to someone in the know. And that person in the know is from the Dogger Saints podcast. It's Sam Miller. How you doing, Sam?
Very well. Thank you very much for having me on. How you doing, fellas? You all right?
How you doing, Sam? All good.
Good, mate. All
So
good.
tell me this now. Now the Dogger Saints podcast, is that like a football and filthy sex crossover?
Kind of. Just be very careful when you're googling Dogger Saints. You'll end up in a Pornhub black hole. But
It's an unfortunate name. We have to say that, don't we?
It's a nickname of the pub we all drink in before the game, the Dogger, basically.
Right.
Because if you're drinking in there, you're never going to get home, and you're in the doghouse basically with the wife, and that's what the name.
Oh, that's quite cool.
I thought it was full of Wayne's hiding for school. Is that a Cottbridge word, Dogger?
Oh, he said
No.
School,
He said
school.
that. Dog school, aye. Dog school.
All right. Dogging school. Dogging is cool.
Paul, this has been down a rabbit hole already, this conversation.
I know, sorry. Right. So anyway, what the fuck's happened with St Johnson, Sam? You've went for 2 cups parading around McDermott Park at the start of the season to the players having to fucking run through the fans away from home at fucking Kelly Hearts. What the hell has happened, Sam?
Fuck me, where'd I start with this one? League 14 league goals in 25 games is probably a good place to start. Not scoring anywhere near enough goals up top. Losing our 2 best players in the summer. Losing Ali McCann and Jason Kerr was massive for us. Basically, on deadline day at 10 p.m. Never had time to replace them. So we knew they were going to go, but we never got in the contingency to get anybody in before. Because it would have been money in the pot from the European games, winning the cups and everything like that. Loads of players this season not turning up that were brilliant last season. Sean Rooney's been pish. Middleton has been horrific.
Really?
Which is a shame because he was brilliant for us last year, but Glenn Middleton just looks like void of all confidence this season. He ended up playing left back last night against St Mirren, which was odd.
Really?
Which is pretty grim. Like, not enough. McDermott used to be a really hard place to go to, and a lot of opposing teams used to hate going to McDermott because we were a stuffy, difficult team to break down, but there's just not enough boys fighting for the jersey at the moment, and the guys we're bringing in just aren't good enough, anywhere near as good as what we've used to expect.
So what is the majority of the Saints fans, what are they thinking? Because has Davidson, has he got the credit in the bank? Is it time to go? I mean, it must be difficult for you because of the success of last season, or is that totally like, it's been done, it's by, we want him out?
I think it goes on game by game basis. After the Livingston game last week, it was like, Callum's the man. He's got it. He's turned it around again. And last night was against St Mirren was probably one of the worst second halves I've seen of football in a long time. So it's swung back in favour of getting rid of him again. But he's not going to go. He's on a 4-year deal, and the club have backed him. We've gotten 14 new players in the January window, which is unheard of for St Johnstone, who basically just have the bare bones squad every season. But no, he won't go. The only way he'll go is if he walks out.
But did it? So the majority is. Did they want him to stay then? What do you personally want? No, they want him to go.
Yeah, he's doesn't change any tactics. He's gone with the same formation all season. It doesn't work because we're not scoring goals. 3 at the back, 2 wing backs, and he just does not change it. Everybody can see that is not the formation to play with the boys we've got, especially with the likes of Sean Rooney and that out, who's a decent wing back, and we're playing basically a right back in his position who doesn't bomb forward, but he's still sticking with his formation and does not change it. So he's awful stubborn, Callum. Nicest guy in the world, apparently, for anybody that knows him, but stubborn when it comes to formations, just will not change it. And it doesn't work. We've seen this from the start of the season. It's not got any better. So he's not willing to make a change.
Do you think that last season he done well with what he inherited, but now that he's been able to put his own mark on the team, he's maybe shown himself up. I don't want to be disparaging towards the guy because what he done last year was exceptional, right? There's no doubt about it. But do you think he's maybe been shown up when he's been given full reign and got to bring his own players in and all that? Do you think he's maybe been shown up a wee bit?
Aye, it seems to have happened. He's basically did brilliant with Tommy Wright's squad, and it was the same before that. When Dennett McInnes was in charge of us, Steve Lomas took over, and he did brilliant with Dennett McInnes' squad. Then he brought in his own guys, and so it seems to be that since he started bringing in his own guys, and they've just not been anywhere near as good as what we've got, and they're just not fighting for the cause. Of like Ali Crawford, just looks uninterested the whole time. You don't need that. You need 11 guys willing to battle for the ball, and they're just not doing it.
I think, like you said at the start, Sam, I think losing McCann and Kerr, I think the writing was on the wall there, like losing they two, but losing them basically at the 11th hour and not replacing them. Aye. You can't do that. You can't do that because they were pivotal to what you were doing, weren't they, two players?
Aye, it was. I read a stat somewhere. McCann played 4 league games at the start of the season for us, and he's still top of the most interceptions for us. And now we're in February, so even in them first 4 games, he's still top of the pile for tackles won and interceptions made for St Johnstone, which is ridiculous.
You said, did you bring in a lot of players in January? Did you say there?
8 or 9 signings plus 4 guys back from on loan. So they're making a fist of it. The chairmen have backed them, but remains to be seen whether they're good enough. I think there were a couple of defenders we brought in from Ireland were excellent. Dan Cleary, his name is, and a guy called John Mann, who are brilliant.
I mean, on paper, Sam, when you look at the list of the players that you brought in, Halberg should do a job. You brought him in from Hibs. Chifchi, you think, would do a job for you as well. You brought the young guy we had at Falkirk, Tony Gallagher, in from Liverpool as well. I mean, Cam McPherson from St Mirren as well is a decent player.
Aye, but they don't seem to have the cojones to kind of get stuck in when it's needed. Halberg will do a job, but again, we seem to have a discipline problem this season. I think we've had 7 or 8 red cards. A heap of injuries. Kane's out for the season. Bryson, who was probably one of our better midfielders, is out for the season. Rooney's not been featured since November. Spoonie's been out. David Witherspoon's been out since he's out for the season. So we're struggling with injuries, discipline, but whether it's too late for them to click, it didn't look like at all last night, certainly, that they just looked like a team of strangers, and it was probably, as I say, one of the worst second halves I've seen in a long time. But again, conditions were rank rotten, but you can blame the ref and all that because it was never a penalty for St Mirren. But yeah.
Do you think it's sometimes hard to criticise clubs, but because there's a lot of clubs, well, most clubs are on the same model, aren't they? For like, you 2 of your best players gone. That's what every club has to do these days, isn't it? Their best players have got to be sold on to. I mean, you might be better off financially, but it's kind of, especially in recent with COVID and stuff like that, it's hard to kind of get angry about stuff like that. But I suppose if you say, they've tried to replace these boys.
But when you look at what's actually happened with St Johnstone, though, they 2 players left right at the very, very death knell of the transfer. But not just that as well. They went for a lot less than they should have.
I think McCann could have went for so much more and went to a bigger club, I think.
100%.
Well, what we heard was
I was shocked when I heard that he'd left.
Sorry.
He demanded the transfer went through at the last hour. From what we gathered, he basically went in with his agent and pleaded with them to get him sold. He wanted to move, because it's a life-changing sum of money. He's gone from 1,500 quid a week to about 10, 12 grand a week. No wonder he wanted to move. So, but if you're then going to have an unhappy player on the books, then I don't know whether you're going to get the same ability out of him. But we knew they were going to go. So St Johnstone should have kind of preempted that and try and get.
They should have had that. They should have had a plan in place. There should have been. You can't let players like that go. Like I said, at the 11th hour. But Sam, were you in the crowd at Kelty?
I was not. No, I was down with old Miley Cyrus at the time, so I had to watch on the telly.
Was any of your friends in the crowd?
Aye, yeah. We actually spoke to the ex-chairman Jeff Brown last week on the podcast, and he said he'd have been in there with them. He said they were every single right to complain and moan at them. But apparently Xander Clark, we're speaking to his brother Ross, and they were giving him grief about being a turncoat but he's been our best player. He's the one player you can't slag off is Xander Clark.
Oh, he's a great goalie.
He's brilliant, very, very good.
We'd have been on 2 points or something this season if it wasn't for some of the saves he's made this season. So, the Kelty thing, it should never have happened anyway. They shouldn't have to walk through the crowd anyway, let alone. But that was probably the low point of the season, and I thought they turned round after that. But yeah, it was pretty grim too.
So do you think these will go down?
I think we'll get a playoff game. I don't think we'll finish 10th now. I think that's probably biased, but because Dundee are worse than us, that's hard to believe. But we wouldn't want our broth.
And this week's riddle for the punters is: a Weasley's male sheep comes after here. A Weasley's male sheep comes after here. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
Broth will win that league anyway.
Hopefully.
I mean, Dundee, I mean, what a result they got down at Tynecastle. You wouldn't have expected that, Sam. But realistically, you're thinking Kent, Rock, because we're just talking at the start of the show about Ross County just seem to be quite hard to beat. You look at their scoring record, 38 goals, top scorers outside the Old Firm. Is that the 11th place in the playoff? That's your aim then, yeah? And it's between you and Dundee?
Survival any which way. So, but I think, as you say, Ross County are too free scoring. But the thing with us is we're not conceding a heap of goals. I think we've had like 5-0 nils. It's just scoring goals is a problem. Like 14 goals this season is a horrific stat. Just can't get the ball in the net.
Losing Kane's been a big part of that, though, eh?
Aye, that's another injury to him. Like I said, Chifchi out as well. Having Callum Henry back, he's been a bit of a bright spark, and we've got him back from Kelly. So, but it's tough, basically. But we said this after before the Scottish Cup final last year. Would you take relegation the following season if we won the double? And I think it was like 84% said yeah. But the reality of it is, we didn't actually expect it to happen.
I think, as a supporter of, not an Old Firm supporter, you would take that absolutely. If you turned to me right now and said that Falkirk win 2 cups and get relegated down to League 2, fucking right, I would take it. 2 cups in the bag.
See, John, relegation comes part and parcel with being a Falkirk fan, so it would just be winning 2 cups for you.
It is true.
Well, see, taking a wee smile on your face, Sam. Tell us about winning the cup double then. How was it for you last season? Because it's funny, you're talking about, I had one of the drivers this week, Bob, that was a Hibs fan, and he was telling me about Hibs 2016, and he was like, you have no idea how big that was for us. We partied for 4 days, blah, blah, blah. Aye. I was greeting and thinking of all the people that are no longer here and stuff like that, and he get tore right into it. I can imagine that was the same for you, Sam, with the likes of the season he's had last year, getting quite emotional and partied for days.
It was unbelievable, but during the League Cup final was in February, which everything was still in lockdown, so we all had to watch it in the house by ourselves. It was carnage. We actually ended up on a Zoom call afterwards, and a couple of the players ended up on it as well for some reason. But it was unbelievable. It really was. But the bittersweet being the fact that we couldn't get there. That was the problem. All the time out to win a cup double for a team like St Johnstone, and we can't get to any of the games. It was pretty hard to take, but if so be it, if we were to do a cup double and I wasn't allowed to go there, I would take it again. But it was great stuff, and like I said, Sean Rooney's kind of written himself into history. The guy's a total bomb scare of a boy. Like, he turns up to Saints training in like Celtic tracksuits and stuff. He does. He's massive Kieran Tierney fan. He came up with an Arsenal top. We seen him outside the ground with like an Arsenal top and with Tierney in the back.
That's mad, isn't it? You see, like, Grado, like, when you're involved in the wrestling, you're not allowed to be a pure mark to somebody else. But
he doesn't give a fuck.
That's brilliant. I love that shit.
He's a bit of a renegade. Does what he wants, but whether he'll still be with us at the end of next season, I don't know. I doubt it. His contract runs out. Somebody will probably take him on, but
he'll end up at one Lithgow Rose or something like that, or fucking.
Does what he wants.
One of the wee Shannon English mobs that all the good players in Scotland seem to go.
What about this Colin McCready play? You going to that? The Boyfie Taggart?
Aye.
Colin?
The Saints one. We're involved in that as well, actually. We're doing like a workshop night for that, but I'll be all right. We'll probably go along with that.
I love that. I just love how every time Grado mentions Colin McCready, he goes, now the Boyfie Taggart.
You must love that as well.
As if nobody's heard him.
Nobody knows who Colin McCready is.
No, he's bigger for Fingway. Would you call it?
The kids one?
Toots and
Topsy and Tim.
No, it's not Topsy and Tim.
No, it's the one with the spider. He's in the one with the spider.
Willie and me. I love Willie.
Willie and me, that's it.
Willie and Tig.
Willie and Tig. There you go.
I'm completely lost here, man.
Hey, I'm telling you, Chris, he does this Wayne show, right, that was on BBC years ago, but it's an official YouTube channel now, and it gets, honestly, one of the
I loved it when she was younger, man.
One of his episodes has got like 25 million hits.
Seriously?
So, mate, he's sorted.
You're fucking right, he is, man.
Oh, mate, he was sorted when he finished Taggart.
Aye, that's true, they all were.
Aye, of course, man. Anyway, Sam, we're getting off the topic.
Easily done.
Sam, listen, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Really appreciate it. If you are a St Johnstone supporter and haven't heard Dogger Saints podcast, get it on your podcast feed now.
Good man. Thank you very much for having me. Have a good evening.
Cheers, Sam.
Right, Sam, catch you later, pal.
All the best, mate. See you later, man.
See you later on, Sam. All the best, mate.
See you, mate.
Football Daft's big question.
Now, last week, boys, on the big question, we got into a conversation about haircuts, and I thought we'll put it out as the big question this week. Who has the best haircut in Scottish football, either past or present? Have you got any nominations you would like to put in the mixer?
Well, I used to get a Kenny Miller.
You'd get a... Would you go into the barbers and say, can you give me a Kenny Miller?
Well, at first I showed Cheryl and I was like, I want that. Do you remember when Kenny Miller used to get his head shaved?
Nicola used to fancy him. She had that Kenny Miller cloak when we first started getting each other, mate.
Really? Right, so he had... I'm sending it in the group chat, right, because I used to get it all the time. And it was like a number 2 all over, and then the wee lines going across.
Yeah.
I go it all the time. I'd go and go just my Kenny Miller. I'd get my Kenny Miller. I wasn't the best, but that popped into my head that I used to do that.
Oh, it's good on you, Grado.
Thanks, pal.
I'm going with just because it was nostalgic, and I used to love it when he ran and his locks would flow, and then he signed for Rangers. Kinnegia.
Oh, that was a good head of hair, man.
I loved it, man. It's like I used to have I never used to think about Kinnegia in the shower, right? I'm just thinking, imagine that after a game and all that, jumping in the shower and big fucking Claudio was walking in, man, with that long fucking Argentine beautiful hair, man.
I couldn't never had a shower in his fucking life.
Guess what's your nomination?
Sammy. He floats like a gazelle, and like the lovely Cheryl, he uses L'Oreal. Definitely perfect, with his hair so long and fine. He's Georgios Samaras, Celtic's number 9.
Nice.
There you go. He did have flowing. It looked very shiny. Samaras' hair looked very shiny. Looked like he kept it well.
I think it used to go in his eyes when he took a penalty against McGregor, but man. Sorry.
Wait, did Gilles Rousset, he had a nice perm? Remember he had a nice
perm? Oh, he had a proper porno perm, didn't he?
Big C. Terry Hurlock.
I said that last week, remember? Terry Hurlock. Aye.
Yeah. My nomination has to be the man himself who's went into the profession, Mr. Sexy himself, Lee Miller. He has had some fantastic.
Don't you try and get back in his good books.
Why? Why am I in the bad books?
After get him out my club, bad.
I did not at any point say. No,
Davey, didn't he say that in the private group chat?
I did. You're talking shite, Crystal. I would never say anything bad against Lee Miller. Prove it.
Get sexy out.
I didn't say I would never bring sexy. I'm bring sexy back. That's what I'm wanting.
That's what you were. But no, it was like get sexy out, man. It's just not got it, man.
This is a lie, Lee. If you're listening to this podcast, they are absolutely.
Is that he's going to listen to this anymore, mate? With you, I mean, you were fucking. Him abuse.
I love the big Lee. Don't say that. Don't say it. Anyway, so you've got a nomination, Lee. I love you. You've got the best haircut in Scottish football. But let's move on to what the listeners are saying. Grado, kick us off.
Danny Warriors FC says our manager wore these luscious locks before cutting it off last summer for the Little Prince's Trust. You can't see it as a podcast, but that is a lovely thing to do. And he has a nice wee. He's got. What do you call them? Pigtails.
Pigtails, mate. Aye. You'll be doing them soon for the rain, mate. Oh, pigtails. Grant has also got in touch and says, your Ma's favourite Rangers player since Sally McCoist, Big Ammo. No, he's another one. Remember, done the Legends game in that, and the Legends game, and he was in, he was like right next to me in the dressing room, man.
That I would not have sat next to Big Ammo in the dressing room.
His hair was fantastic, man, amongst other parts of the body.
He's fat now.
Aye, but...
Is he fat now?
Yeah, but it's kind of fat, man.
Aye, but listen, Tony Soprano was fat. No, I mean, he still got that sex appeal, bro.
Exactly, Tony. Don't sit there and dish Big Ammo, kid, man. Fuck's sake.
Sorry.
So, me, Ross has just put a picture of some dickhead on.
I believe that she's referring to Diouf and his lovely blue Mohican that he sported.
His blue skid mark on top, he said.
Yep. Grant McIver goes for the real slim Craig Burley and the blonde dye job that he arrived at Celtic with.
By the way, no, he didn't arrive at Celtic with, well, I suppose he did, but the footage of him getting that dye job is in that documentary I'm always raving about. Now that Craig...
Oh, the man Andy Roxburgh?
No, that was...
Craig Brown.
The Craig Brown 1998.
Did they not get it done for the 98 World Cup?
That's what I'm saying. It was World Cup Diaries, and like Craig Brown's narrating it, and he's going, and then Craig Billy decided to saunter into the heart of the city to get a new haircut. And it's like just pure dry as fuck. And Craig Billy said it's like footage of just blonde, get it all blonde. Craig Brown's narrating it, and then Craig decided to head back to the team hotel, who were all sitting down to some lovely French cuisine. Craig entered the room to an applause with his new haircut, and it's like fucking, it's like The Office. It's fucking brilliant.
It's like it's Craig Brown's just been handed this fucking bit of paper to read off the script, and he is just doing it all like that, and then he walked in. And then at the end, is that okay for you?
Grado, you're up next.
Right, we have got John has voted for Mo Bangura. Remember that?
That's a funky head of hair, man. That is like a fucking haircut and a half, innit? Adele has got in touch because she's obviously a big gig has been cancelled in Vegas, so she's listening to Football Daft quite a lot. She says Big Oleg Kuznetsov's ginger fro. That was a belter.
That was. Craig comes in. He says Matthias Pogba at Partick Thistle, where he's got half his head shaved, I think, and half it dyed blonde.
That's quite cool.
Not a Pogba to have a fucking mental haircut.
I know. Martin's gone with Kyogo. He's got a fine set of hair on him, Chris, you know.
A fine set of hair indeed, John.
A fine set of Is that the terminology? A fine set of hair?
A fine head of hair. Is it a fine head of hair?
Fine head of hair.
And he's maybe got a fine set of teeth and all. We don't know.
Yeah.
Ryan says Kinija. She goes with Bob. He says, I mean, come on, is there any contest?
Actually agree. It was a beautiful head of hair. Jordan has got in touch and says clutching at straws. Paul McGowan. Paul McGowan said. Did somebody put a photo up on the Football Daft thing this week, John?
Yeah.
Oh my god! That photo is amazing, man.
You really should give him a recommendation for your hair transplant, guys.
I know.
You maybe get a friends and family discount. You maybe, you know.
I know, maybe.
Graham from Stevenson says Brandon Barker.
he got his sorted though, did he know he's got a transplant now? He's fine.
Is he looking good now?
Aye.
No,
I didn't. He has got one, but he did get one.
T. Nushit says, friend of the show, Marco Negri. Now, Marco Negri.
He's still got a head of hair, mate.
Aye, he has. Still has.
Looking good, man.
I've not seen him for a while, right enough. I was half the week he was on mind.
He was good.
He's telling us like Eddie Guerrero, another one, Shawn Michaels. Honestly, it fucking might blow my mind.
I know. Listen to that episode in the archives right now. Grado's got the next one.
Gavin says McFadden's Red Rooster. Oh,
that was honking, man. That was honking.
Remember, he had the wee. I like that. He had the wee Jedi ponytail as well, like he was a Padawan Star Wars Jedi.
He was really legitimately pound shop Freddie Lindbergh at that.
It was
honking, man.
It was
honking.
Scott and Grado and Stephen, you'll remember this one. Big Dan Eggen wins it. A fantastic big mop of curly hair.
Oh, it was horrendous. Beautiful hair.
Did he even play for Rangers? Did he even?
I think he played a few games, mate. But he was as bad as his haircut. He was fucking honking, man. Andrew says Terence Hullock, the locks of an 80s porn star, probably had the girth of one and all.
Fuck's sake!
Jesus Christ! See that Dan Eggen thing? Do you know Hank stuff like folk having brutal hair? Like, so I remember we were linked to some German manager, maybe in between
Kachina.
Aye,
there was some German guy, and he was like Larry David, but he had the curls at the side, and things like that. You're like, I don't care if he's a minted manager. You're like, his hair's fucking brutal, man. No way can he be the Rangers manager.
Mate,
things like that hard, ain't they? You're like,
it says on Wikipedia he didn't play a game for Rangers, but
No.
I remember.
There's a
I
photo
remember
of him.
playing.
There's a photo of him on follow playing with a bust nose and all that. Looks like it could be a European game.
I remember Wikipedia only counts league games, mate.
Aye, because that does look like a European game on follow. But he only stayed for like one season, didn't he? Then he got to fuck. Anyway, that was this week's big question, guys.
And your Dan Eggen news. It is the Player Profile Playoff with piesports.com. They are bringing pies to your door in many different forms. Scotch pies, chili pies, cheesy bean pies, doner kebab pies, steak and sausage pies. You can have them all at Pie Sports. Get your order in now at their website, piesports.com, or give them a call, 0141 739 9999. That's 0141 739 9999. They will deliver pies free of charge to your very door. It's a bunch of postcodes across Scotland, so check their website.
What was that phone number, John?
It was 0141 739 9999.
Beautiful.
You can win pies on Football Daft, however, and all you have to do is come onto this very show and play our game. On to play that game today is Ian Milne.
Hello, guys. It is a pleasure to be here. This is my first time taking part in the Pie Sports playoff.
Great, Ian has been on Rangers.
That's because you only get one chance at it, Ian. You only get one chance at it, bro.
I mostly always work Thursday, so this is a day that I can actually, I'm off on a Thursday, so I can partake in it for you.
Well,
Good lucky.
If you can win your pies. You're a Rangers supporter, Ian. What did you make of the game last night?
It was a good game. I thought we could have scored more in the first half and then maybe finished it off earlier in the second, but I was happy with the goals. Morelos has been on fire recently. I think he's a joint top goal scorer with Eggen Charles Cook now. So he's back in form and he looks like he's back to his best.
And I saw a very interesting fact today as well. Van Bronckhorst, since he's been in charge of Rangers, we have not conceded a goal at Ibrox.
Yes.
Have you not? It's a good start, actually. Mm-hmm. There you go.
Well, there you go. Are you going to win the league? Are you going to win the...
It's good. That was fucking last night. How was that?
We get the win. It's good.
It's good. It was good.
Ian, are you going to win the league though?
I'll keep that in my pocket and I'll no bother with that. Right. But we're close. It's only 1 point. We'll keep it going to the end, hopefully.
Okay. More importantly, are you going to win the pies?
Hopefully.
Right, okay. Would you like to play an Old Firm derby against Crystal, or would you like me to draw a name at random?
Just mix it.
Just mix it up. He's fear to you, Toe. He's fear to you.
No.
He knows he's getting the pies anyway. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Right, okay, let me draw a name out of my cup. Then it is Stephen Purden.
Oh, hello there.
Yes. Hello there, brother. Let's do it, brother.
Right, boys.
Brother.
There have been...
You'd have said something about that there too.
There have been a lot of disgraced footballers in the press over the last couple of weeks.
We're not touching on this, are we?
No.
For fuck's sake,
These are... No, it's not. It is not. I have got players that have actually done jail time. Okay, so you've got to tell me. You've got to identify the players that have done jail time. Okay, these disgraced footballers. Right, are you ready?
Yes.
Here we go.
We need a buzzer?
Oh, buzzers first. First. Yes.
Okay, Grado, man, he's about to fucking Google jail time players and all that.
I'm a fuck, man. It's a bad time to be talking about stuff like this.
Oh, fuck. I sure is. I'm taking my camera off as well.
Stephen Purden, what's your buzzer?
Guilty.
Ian, there can only be one buzzer for you. Not guilty, obviously.
Oh, not guilty.
Right, okay, there we go. Right. Brilliant. Okay, first player out. Ready? You'll have to be quick because these are all fairly easy this week. Starting his career at Man City, this central midfielder was sentenced to 6 months imprisonment for assault in 2008 while at Newcastle. He was also...
Not guilty.
Ian?
I don't know if it is, but I'm going to say Joey Barton.
It is Joey Barton.
Fucking boom.
1-0. Next player out of the hat. This Scottish striker started his career... Stephen Purden.
Duncan Ferguson.
It is Duncan Ferguson. I told you it was going to be easy this week. Right, next one. Might be a bit tougher. Here we go. This centre half was jailed for drink driving in 1990 and spent 57 days inside. He was found to be 27 times over the drink drive limit after crashing his car. The Arsenal legend is now completely reformed.
Okay.
Stephen Purden.
Tony Adams.
Tony Adams, 2-1.
I was pleased that after Stephen has said they got in first. I was like, Tony Adams or Saul Campbell.
You need to get your buzzer in.
Talk about the fact that he was 27 times over the drink drive.
That's what gave it away. I remember it.
But bear in mind, back in 96, the drink driving limit was 2 beers. So he had drank 52 beers. 54 beers.
I don't know if that's how the maths worked on that, Chris, but 27 times over the line. That's unbelievable. There you go. Right, Stephen, is he getting the pies or are you just keeping them for yourself?
Oh, do you know what, Ian?
What?
You can have the pies, but see if there's a kebab one in it, I'll give you my postcode and you can send it to me, right?
Right. I want one of the kebab pies as well. I've not tried them.
I'm kidding on, mate. You have the pies.
There you go. There you go. Congratulations.
You have the pies, brother. You have the pies, brother.
Remember, if you want to get sorted out with pies, just like Ian, you can do that. Piesports.com.
This week the podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. It's an online therapy. This month we're going to be discussing some of the stigmas around about mental health. The last couple of years for people has been hard for the majority of people, and a lot of people's mental health has taken an absolute battering. But have you ever thought about therapy? Therapy isn't just for so-called crazy folk. It doesn't mean that something's wrong with you. It just means that you recognise that we as humans, we've all got emotions and we need to learn to control them, not to avoid them. It's all about talking, and it's all about letting people know how you feel. And we've been taught that mental health shouldn't be a part of our normal life, but that's completely wrong. We take care of our bodies in the gym, well, some is day. We go to the doctor, we look up stuff about nutrition when we're on diets. We should be focusing on our minds just as much as we pay attention to everything else. Therapy is something I'd like to actually do. I hear Howard Stern, I listen to him, he goes 3 or 4 times a week. Now, he particularly might not have the struggles that everybody else has, but it's good to hear that people like him still have daily struggles and they like to go and talk about it. BetterHelp is customised and it's an online therapy, so you don't need to turn up or even leave the house. You can do it on video, you can do it on phone, you can do a live chat, sit on your keyboard and talk away with your therapist, so you don't have to see, well, for example, you don't need to sit on Zoom like we are just now. You can turn the camera off and you can have a wee blather away. And it's much more affordable than if you've done it in person. And you're going to be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. I would give this a try. There's over 2 million folk that have used BetterHelp online therapy. It is good to talk. It's good to just let out your emotions. And it's probably harder for people to talk to their pals. And maybe a wee stranger would benefit you. A wee stranger. So give it a try. 2 million folk, they've tried BetterHelp. The podcast is sponsored this week by BetterHelp, and you as listeners, you get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp. So it's betterhelp.com/daft. That's BetterHelp.com/daft.
It's now time for Grado's 3 riddles on Football Daft.
Grado, before we get to the riddles this week, a lot of people reach out to us and say, what tune is that?
That is Gigi D'Agostino, and it's the riddle.
There you go. It's Nick Kershaw did it originally, but there you go.
I think it was nice. But the Gigi D'Agostino version is tremendous. I had a blast on Saturday night.
There you go.
Anyway, welcome to Grado's 3 riddles. The scores are as follows, John.
Let's do last week's riddle from the punters first. We asked grass-cutting Man City defender. The answer to that was, of course,
John Stones.
No, the grass-cutting Man City defender.
John Stones, no?
That's the second bit of it, Stephen, yes, but you need the first bit, grass-cutting Man City defender. Scottish football.
Mo Johnston.
Well done,
Mo
Chris. Thanks
Johnston.
very
Aye,
much.
aye.
Mo Johnston.
These are intelligent this week, but anyway, go with the scores.
Right. First in with the correct answer on that. He's back, baby. He is back. Dino is back, and he is on 5 points now. He's catching up on you, Stephen.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, man.
Alec McDonald is on 1, Pat the Power Prick 1, Declan Ramage 1, Albert's Legend 1, John Mitchell 1, Ryan the Bar 2, Ian Meikle 1, Jack 1, Ryan 2, Nicola Purden is on 2, Dean is on 5, Stephen 14, I'm on 17, and Chris is on 30. Grado, what are the riddles for this week?
First riddle. A religion I'd like to avoid. A religion I'd like to avoid. I'm really happy with these this week.
Okay.
I know. It's got to be Christian Fuchs.
Nope.
Christian Miss. No.
Christian Nerlinger.
Christian Pulisic.
Pulisic.
Christian Eriksen.
Christian Daly, but that's not
You
it.
have got the first one right.
Ah, you know that.
Yeah. All right.
Come on, mate. Christian, we've got that, mate. Fuck, it's not going to be fucking... I can't even say it. Need to cut that out.
Christian Daly, Christian Nerlinger.
It's a fucking belter.
Christian Zante.
A religion I'd like to
Oh,
avoid.
Christian Deutsch.
That is a good one. That's
Brilliant, Grado.
That's good.
That's brilliant. Christian Doyle.
That's good. That's
Right.
good. That's good.
Brilliant, Tom. Second one. Nearly Colin. Nearly Colin.
Nearly Colin.
Aye. Nearly Colin.
Now, it could be Colin as in calling someone, or it could be calling the name. Nearly. Go and say calling again. Was it calling or
It's
calling?
nearly Colin as in Charlie, Oscar, Lima, India, November.
Right, thank you. He's loving these this week, isn't he?
Oh, fucking
Colin. I'm on a terrible run at the moment. Colin.
It's a fucking belter.
Nearly Colin?
Mm-hmm. You'll kick yourself if you don't get it. Right, you're boring in there.
I'm tapping out on this one. I don't.
I'm going to tap out.
Wait a minute, Nearly Colin. Willie Colin?
Nah.
Aye, fuck it. What is it? Tell us.
The answer is Colin-ish.
That's a belter.
Oh, it's really good. Mate, that's really good. That's really
That
good.
is really good.
It's Colinish.
Colin.
Brilliant, man.
Colin-ish,
Fucking
that's brilliant.
man.
That is fucking brilliant, Grado.
That's a belter, mate.
Right, I don't know. I feel as if this one might have been years before, but it's not as intelligent as the ones. But anyway, I'm by. Bolting to neighbours.
Ian Rush.
Nope. So when you bolt, what do you bolt? Would he be bolt?
Oh, I was thinking running fast, but it could be bolted door.
And it might not be necessarily neighbours in your street. It could be neighbours something else. It could be neighbours that's been in the news this week.
I know, it's coming to an end, man.
But neighbours is coming to an end.
Aye?
Is it finishing?
Neighbour, what was it again, Grado?
So bolting to neighbours.
Aaron Ramsey.
Oh! And I've got one for the listeners before we go. Here's your one for next week. Dean, if you're listening, this is to get you to 6.
Dean, fuck off.
John, you should put the listeners' riddle in a random place on the show.
Well, I maybe should, so that's
quite funny, by the way.
That was awesome. Right, okay, I tell you what then, the listener's riddle is not going to be at this point, Dean, if you've skipped to this part in the podcast and I'm looking at you.
That's brilliant.
Put it somewhere random in the show. Okay, now hit the tune.
ExpressVPN, using the internet without it is like taking a call on the train or the bus on speaker for everybody to hear. Do you really want the whole train to know about how your missus has found out you've got an OnlyFans account? No, you don't. Everybody needs a VPN. Internet service providers know every single website that you visit. Internet service providers, they sell the information to the ad companies, big tech, then they use the data, your data, to target yourself. ExpressVPN, here's the reasons why you should use it. Well, it reroutes your network data through a secure encrypted tunnel so that your ISP can't see or sell your online activity. It's easy to use. Fire up the app, click one button, and it's also rated #1 by The Verge and Tech Radar. It works on phones, laptops, and even routers. Everybody that shares your Wi-Fi can be protected. ExpressVPN is there for you to use if you want to watch Netflix in other countries, if you want to watch football for other countries. It is very important that you sign up to ExpressVPN. They are our sponsors. They are our protectors. They are our protectors online. They protect your online privacy, and you can be protected by visiting expressvpn.com/daft today. That's expressvpn.com/daft. And you can get an extra 3 months free. That's ExpressVPN, and we have been Football Daft, coming to you every Friday.
It is a Football Daft moment of the week, and last week's results are in. And they are as follows. It's pretty obvious who won last week. In last place, it was my choice. Poor old Hibs goalie Kevin Dabrowski got dropped against Rangers last night, and he's bottom of our poll. The poll on the poll came last with only 4%. After that beautiful, emotional interview he gave after the Edinburgh Derby, he was almost greeting, it was his lifelong dream, and then he's last in our poll with 4%. Poor Kevin. Second last, in third, the listeners have their backs. It's the listeners' choice of Grado and Stephen's Old Firm Tears. There we go.
Thanks to all the listeners who didn't vote for that. Thank you.
Yeah. Second, it is Chris's choice. Oh. And that only got 20% of the vote.
And that's second?
Celtic's demolition of Rangers in second place. Which meaning with 68% of this week's vote, Stephen Purden's choice of Aaron Ramsey signing for Rangers won Football Daft's moment of the week. And as you won it, Stephen, you get to go first.
I'm going to continue the trend, and it's going to be something that is connected to my football club.
Oh, for God's sake. Easy fucking... It's the tapping with you. It's the McCoy's tapping every single fucking time.
Hey, you need to be there to tap the in, John.
Right, on you go.
I'm going to go with the return to form of our little Colombian prince, Alfredo Morelos.
Right, see next week, you're banned. You're on a ban. You're on a 3-match Rangers ban next week, right? The return. All right. So, right, Alfredo Morelos return to form is what you're nominating.
Aye.
All right, then. Chris, what are you going for?
What a Grado first, mate. I can't even think of it.
Grado, what have you got?
Right, so this week, the Cinch Team of the Week starred Alfredo Morelos, it starred Tom Rogic, it starred Jack Arnott in goals, but this week, included in a back three, is none other than my best friend and Arbroath's captain, it's Ricky. I was going to say fucking Albion Rovers there. Arbroath's captain, Ricky Little. The Red Lefties beat Kelly on Friday night. He was absolutely fantastic. Along there with his partner in crime, O'Brien. He was imperious in defence, is playing a big, big part in the fairy tale journey that is Arbroath getting to the Cinch SPFL. Ricky, take a bow. Captain Marvel, my hero.
I want that to win it.
Well, withdraw your out Morelos.
I can't, but I just...
No, everyone vote for Ricky. Everyone vote for Ricky.
I would love to see like a battle, man, in the dressing room if they do get promoted, if it's going to be Dick Campbell or Ricky Little in the front of a fucking FIFA 23, man. Like maybe like now sometimes like abroad, like the Spanish version will have like Dick Campbell and the Belgian version will have Ricky Little. Know what I mean?
Yeah. And by the way, Ricky is not the captain of Arbroath.
No, but he's the captain's captain. He's the captain's captain.
He's the people's captain.
Aye, exactly.
Chris, what have you got?
For Tony Watt getting his first goal for the United against Motherwell.
Tony Watt, your pal who still dingies you, even when you mention him.
Aye, John. Aye, my pal.
Tony Watt, your pal still dingies you.
He's not my pal.
Well, clearly no, because he didn't get back to you when you texted him about his goal.
I did.
Oh, did he get back to you in the end? I said, who's this?
Aye, he said, who's that? I fucking get embarrassed by that. Eh, John, you're a fucking disgrace.
Sorry, Chris, sorry. Right, listener's nomination, and you might have seen this. This got tweeted out by Andrew McLean off the Super Scoreboard last night. Commentator's nightmare at the Hamilton versus Arbroath game last night in the Championship. So there was 3 Hamiltons playing for Arbroath. So it was Hamilton, and Hamilton playing for Arbroath. And Hamilton also had a Hamilton playing. So it was Hamilton against Hamilton, who also had Hamilton. So that is the listener's nomination.
You need to call that the Hamilton 5, man.
Hamilton 5 is the listener's nomination. So what are you having for your football daft moment of the week? Is it Stephen's choice of...
the return to form of the Colombian Prince?
Right, I might not be able to fit all those words.
I know.
I'll work with it.
Just Buff's form.
I'll just say Stephen's winning, and you can vote on that. Grado, what's your choice?
Little efforts, big returns.
And Chris.
Tony Watt's goal.
No, I said just what?
Just what?
What?
Right. Okay. And the listener's choice this week is Hamilton, and Hamilton. That is your Football Daft Moments of the Week to vote on. Get now on our Twitter at Football Daft Pod and cast yours. Remember, you can get more content from Football Daft right now on our Patreon. That's patreon.com/Football Daft. Different tier levels up there, different amounts that you can pay each month for extra content from the show. You can become a pundit on Rangers or Celtic Daft. You can get cameos from the boys on request. You'll get teammates every week. You'll get the outtakes from the show, a few this week, probably unbroadcastable ones. Plus, you'll get the video versions of this show, Rangers and Celtic Daft as well. So if you want to get involved, we'd love to have you in our squad. Patreon.com/Football Daft. That's Patreon, Patreon.com/Football Daft. That's all one word. And on the teammates, which we've not done an interview in ages, I think we need to rectify that in the next couple of weeks, boys. This was a teammates. It was a belter from the Fat Cat himself, former Dundee and Celtic goalkeeper. It's Rab Douglas.
Worst dressed.
Lenny.
Aye.
Lenny had some horrendous gear, honestly. No matter how much money you've got, it can have all the fancy writing, horrendous. Lenny would be up there. And it didn't bother him, to be honest. Another one who's a rascal, Gary Harkins, sometimes.
We had him on last week.
Yeah, he was on last week.
I've got to say something there, I better know.
So, Neil, who was the worst, mate? Neil Lennon or Gary Harkins?
I've got to give it to Lenny, because Lenny, the way Lenny was on was, I mean, back then, he probably thought it was designer stuff, but nah.
I'm sure I've seen him like in photos with like white suits and all that one. Like, Lennon,
I've never seen him with a white suit.
I'm sure I've seen that. He's just.
Yeah, I think he enjoyed that. I think he enjoyed a bootcut jean with a pair of trainers.
Oh, aye. I remember the picture before he got the Celtic job again. He was at, would you call it the place? Would you call the suit place at the Square?
Oh.
And it was hanging off him. It felt like, what do you call it? That place?
Forbes.
The Forbes, aye.
Moniest.
Oh, I think I'd be up there, to be honest. Gary Hart again, Lenny again, Alan Thompson. No, Tomo, in fact, by a mile. Aye.
Tomo gets it.
Who do you want to back you up in a fight?
Oh, me and Johan Mjalby, tag team.
That sounds good. Could you imagine that?
Tell me this one, would Johan have battered Bobo?
Johan was a silent assassin. I think Bobo played in the reputation. For me, I think Johan was the man. Big Varga was a silent assassin as well, mind you. Big Stan, he went about one of the days in the bus, Sutty was trying to rip Varga, and Varga just turned around to Sutty and Sutty, shut the fuck up. And that was so, but definitely a fair tag team, me and Big Johan.
Best looking.
Best looking. Now.
Lenny's not getting this one, is he?
No, I don't think Lenny's getting it. Be fair, Big Johan's too good looking as well.
Aye.
Maybe not take him in a fight in case he gets a good looks damage. Big Johan, the model to be here. I think Johan would be up there.
Big Dolph Lundgren.
Aye, I seen him because he does. You see him as a pundit sometimes in the European games. And that he does look a big handsome guy still, doesn't he? But to this day,
oh, he looks like he still plays, man.
Aye, definitely.
Most skillful.
Georgie Nimzadze that was at Dundee and Lubo. Unbelievable. Don't know whether it's the continental, both feet or whatever, but Georgie was sensational to watch him. And Lubo again, Lubo had everything in the big games.
Aye.
I'd love to see what Lubo's worth is at the current moment, you know, in the current market.
Worst trainer.
We Bobby Pett had a few bad ones in his time at Celtic. We used to have a donkey of the week, and it turned in Bobby got the annual prize. But
was that the yellow bib?
Yellow bib, the famous yellow bib. Yep, that's right, Chris.
Nightmare, Bobby Petter. He had a few fucking stinkers on the pitch and all, my man.
Oh, listen, he ripped a few new ones as well, though, when he was on his unplayable. Always remember, you get the white Adidas Predators with the Champions League and the number 15 in the tongue. Martin O'Neill picked him up and looked at him and went, well, Bobby, I hope you do well with these on tonight.
No pressure there, man.
Who never gets the round in?
Jeebsy, I think, it's a bit shy recently. I must say, I was doing a night out in Greenock with him at a golf day. I'm going to put Jeebsy in the spot here, actually. I can't last time he bought around.
There we go, man. There we go.
Another one that was tight at Celtic was Lambo.
Aye.
He was tight. Oh, very. So, there you go.
Biggest bam up merchant.
Sutty and Tomo were a fair double act, to be fair, together. Jeebsy was always up for a bit of fun as well. I must say, Jeebsy's with the Defiant campaign when we went in the run unbeaten when we were in administration and we were signing boys for juniors and that. A great time. Jeebsy was the life and soul of the party there, I must say. He kept the boys going as a captain.
Top shagger.
He's getting.
Listen, that's a hard one because a lot of the boys will have moved on to relationships and that. But no, I think the difference is in the night out when you're away, you see the boys disappear into a lap dance and that. But that's you know,
Bath of course.
Right, Grado.
Correct.
Best you've played with?
I think when you look, you've got to look at Henrik and what he achieved. You know, he went on and did it at Man U and Barcelona as well. You look at Lambo winning a European Cup. I think when you get that kind of pedigree, again, Sutty was a kind of unsung hero at the time, doing all the work. You know, Big Johnny was banging the goals in. Sutty would play centre midfield or centre half as well. So there's been a few quality players I've had the pleasure of playing with.
So that is it for this week's Football Daft. Thank you very much for listening. Scottish Cup action this weekend, gentlemen. How do you think your teams will fare? You've got Annan.
The debut of Arran at Annan.
Arran at Annan this week.
Aye. Thank you.
You nominated that for your Football Daft.
No, this isn't the Eldorado bit, mate.
I know, it's not, mate, Eldorado Park is it, man.
Eldorado's not with us anymore. Brilliant. Glad you're with us, Grado. So, Aaron debuting in Annan. I mean, who...
Hey, it's just the moment of the week now, we don't get paid for it.
I know. Yeah. The sponsors left us, Grado. Who would have thought at the start of the season, Aaron Ramsey there at Juventus, you know, playing with some of the world's best players in Serie A, and he's about to make his Rangers debut at Annan Athletic on a wet Saturday, February afternoon.
John, I can see my moment of the week here, man.
Right.
This is it already for next week.
This is it.
No, it might not be because it could be like a fucking absolute calamity, man. Like fucking Roy Keane at Clyde. We could get fucking beat off Annan and Ramsey's playing for us and all that.
Oh shit!
Imagine that.
Forgot that. I forgot.
That would be fucking Toes moment of the week.
Oh, that would certainly. So that's Annan versus Rangers. Chris, you guys have got Wraith Rovers at home on Sunday. How do you see that going?
Aye, suck it. Should be a walk in the park, but they tend to make harder work of these wee games for some reason. So
a lot of changes in the Celtic side. Aye.
I would expect so, but I would keep it going the way it is. I would keep playing the team together just now for as long as possible.
All right, okay. In other matches, Hearts Livingston should be kind of Edinburgh West Lothian derby there. Motherwell of Aberdeen's quite a lot of all Premiership clashes actually. It's the fifth round.
A lot of the big guns getting fucking chopped out in this round.
Aye, yeah. Thistle versus Dundee United. I tell you, Thistle have got a chance there, haven't they? For Hill.
Yeah, aye.
Against Dundee United.
I think Dundee United, will still have too much for them, mate. I think they will.
Do you think so? Thistle are going well. At the moment.
See the Hearts Livy, where's that? Is that tiny?
Hearts at tiny. So Hearts on a poor run, but that's 2 games.
I would still fancy maybe Livy to turn them here.
Aye. All right, and St Mirren Kelty.
What a Kelty! They're going to win a cup, remember?
You said that, and that's
what a Kelty.
That's at St Mirren Stadium.
A step too far for them, I think.
Step too far this time.
I think they'll do something.
Right, okay, that's interesting. And then obviously on the Sunday, not only have we got Celtic Wraith Rovers, 12:30 kickoff, the Red Lichties versus Hibs.
Oh, that's game of the weekend. That's game of the weekend.
That is game of the weekend.
Hibs are poor, no? Hibs are poor.
Is that game on the telly?
It's on the telly. It's on the telly. Up to gate.
I'm going to Lockside Hotel on Sunday, man. I might get Nicola to drive, and I might try and get a link for that on my phone. It's going to be interesting, that game.
Mate, I took my thing with to the Lockside.
I know. I was not long. It was only a month ago, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Well, mate, the thing is, because Nicola's dad's been no well, blah, blah, blah. I thought we were meant to be getting in the tune for a night out, and I thought, fuck it. Rearranged all the plans. Booked Lockside. We're gone there. Then we'll get dinner at 7:15. Wee bevy and all that. We're doing a garden room. And then it's Valentine's Day on the Monday. And I've got a massage booked for 11 o'clock for when we check out.
You better hope she's not listening to this podcast.
She knows.
Checking to see.
Oh, she knows.
She knows.
She knows. All right, it's no surprise then. Right, so that's your Scottish Cup games.
Steffi's getting a fucking goonie. Seriously, she wants a goonie, so that's fine.
I mean, Sammy's getting a nod and a wink.
Love that. John, what are you getting your missus for Valentine's?
Oh,
Joe Malone! Joe Malone!
No, I'm not getting Joe Malone. I've got.
It's funny because Crofty was like today. John will be getting Joe Malone for his wife again. That's all he gets her.
No. I mean, weird.
Then I was like, I think Bob does that, no?
Aye, Nicola likes Joe Malone, aye.
Bottle of gin and some nice laundry.
We don't buy each other anything for Valentine's. We just say we'll go away for a night or go out and get.
That's the best way to do it.
When we're going to get a Scott, actually.
When you've been married for so long, you didn't need to express your love, you know what I mean? Right, so that is your Scottish Cup fixtures for this weekend. I think there could be a couple of shocks in the cards there.
I think the Red Lacties will beat Hibs. I genuinely think Kelty have got a good shout of beating St Mirren.
Right, shock. That's your shock of the weekend, Chris. What are you going for shock of the weekend? Arbroath. And
I'll go for that as well, hopefully, but we'll see.
I think this will beat Dundee United. I think this will beat them. So
Livingston and Hearts is one as well, mate.
I don't know if that's a shock, though, is it?
Well,
yeah. So that's it. Scottish Cup. Enjoy it if you're going to one of the matches. Remember, you can get our video version of this show right now. Patreon.com/football daft. Be a pundit on Rangers and Celtic by signing up there as well. We'll be looking back at the Scottish Cup games on those podcasts next week. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Now, gentlemen, what are we going to call the episode this week? I've got a couple of options in front of me. You can decide what we go for. We could call it, so I was doing a shite in Arran. That could be one. Keeping Up with Dan Eggen could be another title.
What's down your sofa?
What's down your sofa is another title. What are we thinking?
Oh no, man!
I think it should be keeping up with the Eggins or something like that.
Keeping up with it.
Keeping up with Dan Eggen, that's funny.
Keeping up with Dan Eggen. That is this week's episode title. So there you go. Thank you very much for listening to Football Daft. We will see you on the next one.